Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we will begin our very first lab session on the design principle of operating system. In this video, we will explore the introduction to Unix and Unix file system. By the end of this lab, you will understand what is software, how OS fit into the picture, and what makes Unix so unique, and how its file system is organized. So let's begin our journey into the world of Unix. First of all, what is software? Software is a set of programs or instructions that manage and control the various functions of the computer. For example, you can think of your computer like a car. The hardware is its engine, wheel, and body, whereas the software is the driver who is giving commands like start, accelerate, or turn. Without a driver, the car does not move. Similarly, without a software, the hardware does nothing. The softwares are broadly divided into two types. First one is application software. Second one is system software, which is further classified into two types, that is system utilities and operating system. So operating system is basically a type of system software. Let us understand all of this in detail. The application softwares are programs which are used for the user tasks, and these are basically designed to meet all the end users' requirement. For example, the MS Word, web browsers, accounting softwares, project management, media players are different examples of application software. Next is the system software. They help to run the computer itself. It manages and supports the operation of the computer. This is further classified into two types, that is system utility and operating system. The system utilities are small tools that perform the maintenance tasks like disk cleanup, backup, virus scan, or defragmentations. Whereas operating system is the main controller that acts as the bridge between the user and the hardware. Without OS, the user can't directly interact with the hardware. It needs to take the help of the operating system. OS has several functionalities, like, for example, key functions like memory management, where it decides which program uses which memory, file system management to store and retrieve the data efficiently, disk management to organize how data is read and written, user interface to provide interactions through commands or windows. Next is security and access control to keep the data safe from unauthorized access. At last, networking to enable the computers to communicate and share the resources. We can think of OS as a traffic police officer who is controlling how every car or program moves on the road, that is CPU, so that there are no crashes or jams. There are several examples of operating system examples. For example, if you're working on desktop or server, in that case, the popular OS are Windows, Mac OS, Linux, and Unix. Each of these are having different variants. If it is mobile operating system, in that case, there are two popular OS, that is Android and iOS. For embedded applications, we have embedded Linux, VxWorks, RTOS, which are the popular operating systems. Now, let us discuss the different types of operating system. OS can be broadly classified into three types. First one is single user and single tasking, where one user can perform one job at a time. For example, MS-DOS. Another example I can give, the old style phones where one could only call one person at a time. There was no facility of conference calls. Whereas in case of single user multitasking, it supports one user to perform multiple tasks simultaneously. Example is Windows 10, wherein I can perform multiple tasks. A single user can perform multiple tasks simultaneously, like listening to music, typing something, or browsing internet. The next one is multi-user operating system, which allows multiple users simultaneously to perform multiple tasks. Example is UNIX or Linux. So because of this reason, basically Linux or Unix is so popular because it increases the efficiency of the system as multiple users can simultaneously work on the system resources. Now, let us understand the Unix in detail. Another thing, we have presently we're using the Linux. Okay, so how Unix and Linux different from each other? Linux, I can say, it is more popular because it is open source. It is highly compatible with various hardwares. It is highly customizable for many distributors. It is widely used by individuals, businesses, and servers, and it has large open source community support. So Linux is the advanced version of the Unix. Unix is the older one. Okay. Now we will discuss Unix in detail. Unix is a very powerful multi-user multitasking operating system, and it is very stable, efficient, and flexible. The older name of Unix was Uniplexed Information and Computing Services. Later on, the name of Unix was changed to Unix, that is Uniplexed Information and Computing Service, which was later shortened to Unix. Now let us give a brief understanding of the history of Unix. At first, Multics was developed. It was developed by MIT, which supports only two users. Okay. After that, Unix came into picture. It was developed at AT&T Bell Labs. It was developed in assembly language and supports multi-users. Next came the Unix operating system, which went through several variations. Initially, it was Unix version 1, that where file system and process concept was introduced. Next, in the next version, Unix was rewritten in C. It increased the portability. After that, Unix version 6 came into picture, which is widely distributed to universities and research institutions. Likewise, several variants of Unix came up. Now, let us understand the main features of Unix and why it is so popular. The first feature is multi-user capability, which allows multiple users share the system resources. Next is the multitasking, wherein we can run many processes concurrently. Next comes portability. I can run the system, I can run on different hardware. Next is security, where the user permissions and encryption support. In the case of networking, it is used to build strong network tools. Likewise, some of the other main features are cell and command line interface, process management, modularity and utilities, device independence, hierarchical directory structures, and standardization. So these are the key features of Unix. The most popular feature is multi-user multitasking and portability. These are the main features because of which Unix became so popular and widely used. Now, let us understand the architecture of Unix. Unix has 5 layers. The hardware layer, next is the kernel layer, then the shell, next is application or utilities, at last the user label. In case of hardware, it comprises of the physical components like the CPU, memory, and I/O devices. Above it, we have the kernel, which is the heart of Unix and controls the memory, CPU, and the devices. So it is the main thing. After the kernel, the shell comes. In case of shell, it is the command interpreter between the user and the kernel. Next is the utilities and applications, wherein tools such as text editors, compilers, and file utilities are provided. At last, the user layer comes, where the humans interact through terminals or GUIs. Together, these layers make Unix popular and modular and user-friendly for both the programmers and administrators. So, these points I have already discussed. Now let us understand about shell. Shell is the collection of Unix commands that let the users communicate with system. It accepts your commands, interprets them, and forward them to the kernel. So the commands that we're writing, the basic commands like ls, sort, who, tar, grep, different commands are there. All these commands, when we will write together in a single script, then that becomes my shell. And the user will, it helps the user to communicate with the system. Okay, that is with the hardware. There are different type of cells available. The first one is bourne shell. It is the original Unix shell and it is good for simple scripting. It does not have the history feature and other advanced features are not available. Next comes the bourne again shell or bash shell, which is the most popular shell today. It adds command editing, job control, arrays, and advanced scripting. Next comes the C shell. Its syntax is similar to C language and supports history and alias. The last type is corn shell, which combines the features of bourne shell and C shell and preferred for advanced scripting. It has much more added functionalities over here. We can think of cells as different languages spoken by the translators. Each can talk to the kernel, but their accent and grammar syntax differ slightly. All the cell's task is to communicate with the kernel. Now let me show you. This is a simple shell script and it can be written like this, where the first line indicates which type of shell it is, and this is simple commands like echo hello world, which is used to print hello world to the terminal, and date display the current date and time. The last part is UNIX file system. UNIX file system is hierarchical and it starts with a root node with a single root directory and branches into subdirectories like Unix, bin, lib, div, user, temp, etc. Now, the Unix contains the files, that is the Unix kernel itself. The Unix subdirectory contains a Unix kernel. The bin subdirectory contains executable files for most of the Unix commands. The lib subdirectory contains the library functions. Dev contains the device related files. The user related files are kept under USR subdirectory. Temp files. Temp subdirectory contains the temporary files which are created by the Unix or the users. etc is a subdirectory where the binary executable files usually required for system administrations are stored. The additional binary executable files are stored inside a subdirectory inside user. This is how the Unix file system is organized. So let us recap whatever we have learned today. First of all, we have discussed what is software. We have discussed what is software. There are different types of software and what is OS. We have discussed next. Next, we have discussed about a Unix operating system, why it is popular. Then we have discussed its brief history, the architecture of Unix, and the different Unix file systems were discussed in detail. So in short, I can say that Unix is a well-organized city where every street, building and resident has a proper place and clear communication routes. In our next video, we will dive into basic Unix commands. We will actually create files, explore the directories, manipulate data right inside the terminal. Until then, keep visualizing Unix as perfectly managed ecosystem. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Thank you.